Before we crack open tonight's cursed can of content, I just want to say a big thank you to all our subscribers, and an extra sinister shout out to the loyal members of the Sinister Elite. You legends help keep the darkness alive. If you're enjoying the stories and want to take it a step further, hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed, and consider joining the Sinister Elite by clicking that join button below. Members get access to creepy custom emojis and exclusive Sinister Elite badges that level up the longer you survive with us. It's like loyalty, but spookier. All right, lights off, headphones in, and let's summon something we'll all regret. I work the night shift at Krispy Kreme. It's me, a cracked-out glaze machine from 1998, and a dude named Tino who swears he once ate a donut that blinked at him. I don't ask too many questions. I took this job because my truck's transmission is about 3 potholes away from falling clean out, and my cousin promised he could hook me up with a used one off Facebook Marketplace if I came up with $700 cash. I also still don't have a PS5. I know, it's embarrassing. My friends got one in 2020. I'm just trying to survive out here, man. Krispy Kreme's all right, though. Easy money. The manager, Ms. Danvers, don't say much. She floats around like she's been here since the store opened in '87. Always wears the little paper hat, too, which I find unsettling for reasons I can't explain. One time I tried to joke with her and said, "You ever smile, or is that against the frosting policy?" She just looked at me and said, "Don't joke about the frosting," then walked away. Weird. Anyway, tonight started like normal. Tino was scraping dried glaze off the conveyor belt with a paint scraper. I was boxing up day-old jelly fills for the dumpster, and Ms. Danvers was standing by the fryer, not doing anything, just watching it like it owed her money. "Bro," Tino said, eyes bloodshot, "you ever think about how donuts are just edible life preservers?" "No. I think about it a lot." He talks like that every night. I think his bloodstream is 30% weed, 10% Red Bull, and 60% icing. Last week he poured hot glaze in his coffee and said it unlocked a new part of his brain. Then he sat in the mop sink for 20 minutes, humming the Game of Thrones theme. At around 2:58 a.m., the Hot Now sign came on, which was strange because we didn't press the button. That thing's wired into the system. Only activates when a new batch of dough is ready to fry. But the mixer hadn't even been touched yet. Ms. Danvers glanced at it, then walked into the back without a word, left the door swinging behind her. "Tino," I said, "you hit that?" He was still cleaning the belt. "Nah, man. Haven't even messed with it tonight. Maybe it's just the timer glitching again." That happened once before. The sign blinked on and off real fast like a rave, then made a popping sound and went dark. Corporate had to send a guy from Tennessee to fix it, but this time, it didn't blink. It just stayed glowing hot now in that red neon glow, like it was calling somebody. I stepped outside for a smoke. Tino doesn't smoke. He says he vapes spiritually, so I usually go out alone. It was dead quiet on the lot. No cars, no noise. Just the glow of that red sign bouncing off the glass like we were about to summon something. When I came back in, that's when I saw it. Someone had placed a clipboard on the prep counter. It wasn't there before. Tino was still in the kitchen. Ms. Danvers was still in the back. But the clipboard was just there. Sitting between the tubs of frosting and the powdered sugar. Grease-stained. Old. Looked like it had water damage or maybe jelly dried into the pages. There were only 4 words across the top of the first page. Night shift. Do not ignore. Underneath that were 6 typed-out rules. The first one said, 1. If the Hot Now sign turns on by itself, unplug the breaker and do not go outside. If you've already gone outside, don't open the front door again until 3:17 a.m. I froze. It was 3:04 a.m. The Hot Now sign was still glowing, and I had just come back in through the front door. Behind me, I heard the fryer hiss like something alive had just dropped into it. You ever hear a fryer hiss like it's mad at you? Not like the oil's hot. I mean like something crawled in, got pissed off, and now it's boiling itself on purpose. That's what I heard when I came back inside. The fryer snapped so hard it made the metal hood above it rattle. Tino jumped, dropped his scraper, and looked over at me with wide eyes. "Dude," he said, "tell me you didn't open the front door." I just stared at him. He pointed at the clipboard. "You didn't read the first rule?" "I didn't see it until after." Hell no." He backed up toward the walk-in fridge. "This is exactly how them creepypasta stories start, bro. Like, local man disappears after ignoring haunted donut protocol." "Shut up." We both peeked toward the fryer. The oil was bubbling way too fast. Nothing was in it, but the surface rolled like something big was swimming under it. And then it screeched, like metal grinding on glass. High-pitched, ugly, almost inhuman. My skin crawled and Tino let out a nervous laugh. "I'm out," he said, and turned to walk. But when he reached the back door, it was locked, from the outside. "Tino." "Bruh." That's when I noticed something even worse. The "Hot Now" sign outside? It was no longer glowing. Now it was melting. The neon tubing dripped like red wax, running down the glass in slow, syrupy lines. Steam fogged the windows. Something heavy thumped against the front door from the other side. Once, then twice. We stood still. Neither of us spoke. The fryer gurgled again and popped. "Read the rest," Tino whispered. "Read the freaking rules, dude. Fast." I flipped to Rule 2. 2. Do not make any donuts after 3:33 a.m. If the machine starts by itself, leave the room immediately. I looked at the glaze machine. It was on. It was slowly rolling empty racks through like it was prepping a batch. The dough mixer clicked on by itself. No one touched it. Tino grabbed a rolling pin like it was gonna help. "Man, I told you we should have applied at Taco Bell." I did apply at Taco Bell. They said I looked too emotionally stable. The fryer hissed again, and then the conveyor started moving. A perfect ring of dough plopped into the oil with a splash. It cooked itself, flipped by itself, and then floated toward the edge of the fryer without ever getting touched. When it rolled out onto the tray, we both stared at it. It had no hole, just a flat, perfect circle of fried dough. And in the center was a black dot, like an eye. It blinked. Tino screamed and threw the rolling pin at it. It bounced off the tray with a thunk. "Nope, not tonight. I'm not getting possessed by a freaking donut." I grabbed the clipboard and scanned for anything helpful. 3. If a donut comes out without a hole, it's not one of ours. Do not eat it. Do not speak to it. Do not let it make eye contact with you. I swear to God that thing was smiling. We backed toward the mop closet. That was the only door that didn't auto-lock. Tino whispered, "Why is it looking at me like that?" The donut slowly rolled off the tray, hit the floor, and started rolling toward us. I slammed the closet door shut, flipped the deadbolt, and turned off the light. We both held our breath in the dark, listening. The donut hit the door once, then nothing. I checked my phone. 3:12 a.m. Tino whispered, 10 more minutes. Just 10 more minutes till 3:17. That's what the first rule said, right?" "Yeah." Outside the closet, something slid across the tiles. Then came another hiss from the fryer. We weren't alone anymore. I don't know how long we were in that mop closet, but the smell of bleach was starting to make Tino talk crazy. "If we die here, just know, I used to eat the donut batter raw. That's why I see shadows in my dreams." "Shut up." We were both crouched behind a bucket, listening for movement. The fryer had gone quiet. The donut that blinked was either gone or waiting. I checked my phone again. 3:17 a.m. I blew out a breath. "We can open the front door now." "Bro, we ain't opening nothing. That pastry had a soul." I cracked the door anyway. The store looked empty. The donut was nowhere in sight. The fryer was off. The "Hot Now" sign outside was still melted into the window like a wax horror movie prop. We crept out slow, 1 foot at a time. That's when I saw something new. Someone had scribbled on the rule sheet in red marker, "You broke Rule 1. Do not break Rule 4. I scanned down the page to find it. 4. If you hear a knock at the back door and no delivery is scheduled, do not open it, no matter what they say, even if they sound like you. Tino read it over my shoulder. What the hell does that mean? Sound like us. And then we heard it. Knock, knock, knock. At the back door. We both froze. Then came a voice. Nate? It was my voice. Hey, it's me. I locked myself out. Come on, open up. Tino backed away from the door like it had teeth. Hell no. That ain't you? You're you. I walked over slowly, heart pounding. The voice on the other side was calm. Exact same cadence, same tone. Just open the door, man. I don't want to get written up again. I turned back to Tino. What if it's a prank? Maybe Danvers is messing with us. Tino shook his head. She doesn't prank. She speaks in riddles and stares at Grease like she's reading the future. The knock came again. Harder this time. Then, Tino's voice joined mine. Nate? Bro, you in there? We both looked at each other, and we were both already inside. Whatever was at that door was pretending to be us. I turned off the lights. We crouched behind the counter. Something brushed past the drive-through window. Like a shadow. Like a person. The voice called again. Come on, open up. I got your truck parts, man. And the PS5. Just let me in. I wanted to believe it. God, I wanted to believe it. I looked at Tino. He was whispering prayers to the mop bucket. Bro, I whispered. Grab the glaze knife. You think I'm gonna knife fight a mimic made out of donut evil? Just do it. We waited. Then, the voice changed. No longer mine. No longer his. Now it was raspy. Low. Like hot air dragging over broken glass. You already opened the door once. The first mistake is free. We didn't respond. Next one costs more than sugar. Then silence. For a full 5 minutes, not a sound. No knock, no fryers. Just the low hum of the cooler in the back and the buzzing light above the counter. Tino finally breathed. Think it's gone? And then I heard the worst sound I've ever heard in my life. The glaze machine started itself again. The glaze machine coughed like it was clearing its throat. Then it whirred to life. A thick ribbon of icing oozed out and slathered across the empty conveyor like it was icing a birthday cake for Satan himself. I stood frozen, clipboard in one hand, knife in the other. Tino backed up slowly, pointing like he was watching a ghost hatch from an egg. Bro, he whispered, that glaze is moving wrong. He was right. It wasn't dripping. It was sliding, like it had a purpose. It snaked its way down the belt and pooled near the edge of the fryer, then rose up, I swear to you, into a shape. A vague human one. Like a person made of frosting with no eyes, no mouth, just glaze. Tino whispered, What the fresh glazed hell is that? Rule 5, I muttered, flipping pages. There it was. 5. If the glaze becomes sentient, retreat to the front counter. Do not engage, do not speak to it, and never let it touch your skin. The glaze man was standing now. Steam rolled off him. He raised a hand and pointed directly at me. It was like staring at something that didn't belong in reality. Like a birthday candle grew arms and found God. I dropped the clipboard. Tino was already halfway to the front counter, yelling, I told you not to trust the fryer. I said Krispy Kreme was cursed. But no, I need a new transmission, bro. Now look. We vaulted the counter like Olympians. The glaze man stepped forward. Each footfall squelched against the tile, leaving behind sticky footprints that hissed like acid. I grabbed the store phone. Deadline. Of course. Then came Ms. Danvers' voice. Software. Calm. From the back room. It's not the worst thing to become, she said. We turned. She was standing there, Her paper hat tilted slightly, her hands clasped behind her back like a Sunday school teacher. "What?" I asked. She smiled. Her lips were glazed, literally. Tino made a noise like he was trying to yell and vomit at the same time. Ms. Danvers stepped into the light. Her arms were glaze. Her fingers were donut dough, curled into neat, perfect loops. She wasn't a person anymore. She was a hostess, for whatever that thing was. "The glaze god wakes every few years," she said gently. "Always needs a shift leader. That could be you, Nathan." Tino screamed, "Why is this store still open?" She kept smiling. "Do you know how many calories are in obedience?" That's when the glaze man lunged. I barely shoved the register cart in the way before the thing splattered across it like pancake batter. It hissed, reformed, and started coming again. Tino yelled, "We need to unplug the machine." "I ain't touching that thing." The clipboard was still on the floor near the fryer. I dove for it while Tino grabbed the fire extinguisher and started spraying Glaze Man like he was a spider made of frosting. Didn't stop him, but it slowed him down. I got to the clipboard. Last rule at the bottom, 6. If all else fails, microwave a blueberry cruller for exactly 44 seconds. It will create a vortex. Jump through. "What the hell is a vortex?" "It's either that or become a donut, bro." I sprinted to the microwave, grabbed a blueberry cruller from the rack, stuffed it in, and punched in 44 seconds. The microwave shuddered. The lights dimmed. Ms. Danvers whispered, "You've made a mistake." And the microwave exploded with light. A swirling blue vortex ripped open the back wall like a portal from a sci-fi movie. But it smelled like burnt sugar and regret. Tino didn't wait. He dove through it like it was a slip and slide into freedom. The glaze man was behind me, reaching out. I took one last look at the store, the rules, the sign, the donuts that betrayed me. Then I jumped. I landed face first in what felt like a ball pit made of stale powdered sugar and hot regret. Tino groaned somewhere beside me. We were in a room, or at least something like one. The walls were made of cracked ceramic tile, same pattern as the Krispy Kreme floor, but old, warped. The lights flickered overhead and everything smelled like burnt glaze and fryer oil gone sour. There were no doors, just one big window showing. Nothing. Like the store existed in space, or between spaces. It floated in a void full of static and faint whispers, like AM radio stations trying to tell secrets. Tino stood up, covered in sprinkles. I swear if this is a metaphor for hell, I'm suing somebody. I looked around. There was only one thing in the room besides us, a table. And on that table, a donut box. Standard white cardboard, grease-stained. I walked over and flipped it open. Inside, one donut. A perfect blueberry cruller, still warm, and underneath it, a note. "Congratulations, Nathan. You made it to the final batch. One bite seals the shift. Forever." Tino backed up. "Nope. No way. I don't care if that donut gives me immortality and a free transmission. I ain't eating it." I looked down at it. It pulsed. Literally pulsed, like it had a heartbeat. From the ceiling, a slow drip of glaze started falling, one sticky strand at a time. The walls began to hum, vibrating like a cooling rack during a lunch rush. And then, Ms. Danvers appeared in the window, but not as a person, as a reflection. She smiled with eyes made of jelly, her lips curved in frosting. "Nathan," she whispered, "clock in." Suddenly, the wall behind us opened up like a garage door. We were looking back into the real store, or a version of it. The kitchen was pristine, clean, silent. The Hot Now sign flickered, back in place. A time clock stood next to it, glowing red. I heard her voice again. "If you punch in, you'll never want for anything again. A new truck, a new console. You'll be fed, paid, loved, worshipped." Tino leaned close. "She's offering you donut godhood, bro. Don't do it." I stared at the cruller. It smelled amazing. But then I remembered the fryer screaming. The glaze man. the way the donut blinked. I took the box, walked to the time clock, and shoved the cruller into the gears. The machine screamed like a pig in a slaughterhouse. Glaze exploded everywhere. The lights shattered, the floor cracked, and the window showing Danvers imploded into nothing. Tino yelled, "What did you do? I'm ending the shift." Everything went white. I woke up in the break room. It was 4:06 a.m. The fryer was quiet. The glaze machine was still. Tino was beside me, snoring in a pile of paper hats. And the clipboard? Gone. Only thing left was a note on the prep counter, scribbled in chocolate syrup. Shift covered. Do not apply again. I quit the next day. Truck still ain't fixed, still no PS5. But I sleep better now. And if you're thinking about working the night shift at Krispy Kreme, just remember, not all donuts have holes, and some of them are waiting for you.